If you're able to stand, let's stand, get our bodies and minds in motion. And as you're able to, reach to the side and bring your friends with you. Reach to the other side and bring even more friends with you. Then slightly turn backwards and tell others, come on, y'all, let's go on this journey together. And reach to the other side backwards a little bit and bring even more on this journey with you. Then look forward, bring your arms forward and clap because that's the direction we're going. And we're going to ignite this journey. Now shake it all around so you get even more of that energy flowing to put us into perpetual motion for receiving value into you. Now I have something to tell you. I know without a doubt that you have great value in you, that you are worthy, and that you are enough and you do matter. What's that I hear? Did I hear a snicker? A faw? A whisper of, you don't know me. How can you say that? Well, I will tell you how. I know you have value in you because you are here right now. If you're watching this as a replay, and here's why. You are unique. There has never been anyone like you. There will never be anyone like you because you see, your value comes from within you. It does not come from what others say about you or any other outside sources. You have made the choices you have made. Only you have acted or reacted to the choices that others have made that have directly affected you. And all of those choices, that's where your value comes from. And that value in you, that is what makes you worthy. Not the career you have, not the job you do, not what other people say you are, but your worth comes from the value inside of you. Now, that value and worth are what makes you enough, just the way you are. That doesn't mean that we can't ever improve upon ourselves. We can. We can learn more every day. We can go further than where we are right now. You can do that. You have enough in you right now because you have value. And that value is what makes you worthy. And because you are enough right now, that is why you matter. Yeah, have you ever smiled at anyone? Have you ever talked with a friend or coworker who told you what's going on in their life? And you gave a word of encouragement or a suggestion or I don't know how to respond to that, but I'm here for you. That's your value, and that's what you're giving to others. And the best part is, you can never, ever, ever, and I truly believe this because I've seen it happen time and again, you can never, ever give away your value without receiving more value back into you. You heard me right. I'll say it again. No matter how little or how much value you give away from yourself, you're always receiving more back into you. You see, value is not like energy that you have a big bowl and you dip into it and you're giving it to others and your bowl gets empty, so you have to go back and refill it again and again and again. And energy is good. It is good. But that's not value. No, as soon as you give away some of your value, you've already received more back into you. So let's hear you. What do you have in you? Value. What makes you worthy? Oh, your value. And together, those are what make you enough. That's right. And that is why you matter. So what is value? That value that's inside of you. I'll ask you again. Have you ever smiled at anyone? Maybe someone that was not smiling? You just gave that person a little value from yourself and you automatically receive some value back to you. And if you happen to see that person smile in return, well, you just received a whole lot more value back into you. Now, have you ever held a door open for someone? Let someone go ahead of you in line? Offered a place for someone to put their big packages at the UPS store while you were waiting in line? Have you ever helped someone carry their purchases to their car for them? Or return someone's shopping cart back into the return area or back into the store for them? Have you listened to a friend or coworker mention a little bit about what is Making their day not so good? Or what is making their day really great? Have you ever listened to someone else? Have you helped them move, been in a garage sale and offered to haul their big purchase for them because their car's too small and yours is bigger? All of those things are adding value to another person. And again, you are receiving value back into yourself because of it. You know, I was standing in line one time speaking to a gentleman, and he told me how oops, I missed my pocket, and the change went on the floor. He did this so that when some mom whose kids are tired of being in the store and getting a little cranky, when they go to the checkout, suddenly they're all excited because they found a coin or two on the floor. Did you ever leave a quarter in the phone booth? I'm probably dating myself there. Does anyone use those anymore without a card or credit card? Now, what about someone else in line? Have you ever bought them a coffee or in the drive-through? Have you shared your lunch or gave up your holiday at work so someone else could have a holiday with their family? Anything, anything you do that is for someone else, that is adding value to them. Giving away your value, and I don't know scientifically or biologically or spiritually how it happens, but you always receive more value back into yourself. You see, you will never run out of value as long as you're alive. You give away value, and you probably don't even realize you do it every single day. So when you choose to speak kindly to the person on the phone, after you have been transferred for the fifth time and your frustration level is about to burst, but instead you calm yourself down because taking it out on them is not how you would want to be treated. Now, does your value depend on the other person's response? No, it does not. Whether they respond or not, you've given them value and you've already received instantly the value that you've given away and you've added into someone else's life. You never run out. Now, do you ever run out of value? Oh, do you always receive more value back into you? Yes. Try this again. Okay? And I want you to say it like you really believe it to be true, because it is. Do you always receive more value back into you? Yes. What makes you worthy? Say it with me. My value makes me worthy. What makes you enough? Say it with me. My value and my worth make me enough. And what do those mean for you? Again, say it with me. I do matter. Yes, absolutely, you do matter. Now, when I was young, I was too quiet, too shy, except for in my family. Then I was too talkative, too loud, too busy, too much. And as I grew up, I get so fast sometimes. As I grew up, well, it took me a long time to do that because I was too short, too skinny, too little, too weak. I believed that I was always being told I was not worthy. Even into my late adult years, can you believe that? I hadn't even given it much thought. It's just who I was until one day in a mastermind, and the question was asked, what is the one thing that you have believed about your life? One thing that you have been told all your life. And I said, I was not worthy. Now, it didn't seem to make any difference to me, except for one thing. Those three words bothered the speaker so much that the rest of the mastermind, he used that as an example. Suddenly, my mind went, huh, that's interesting. So I began to explore it further. I began researching it in depth, and it took me nearly 3 years later to finally realize and accept that I was worthy, that I did matter, and that people wanted to hear my message. And people want to hear your message too. After that mastermind, I heard someone say, you have greatness in you. Yes, that was Les Brown. And I was discovering more about value. And then I realized the greatness he's talking about is your value. Now, in one of my early podcasts, I was speaking with a gentleman, and in the conversation, he just says, I am enough. Wow, I thought. I just gave that man value to have for the rest of his life. And you know what? It felt good. So good that I wanted more of it. So I continued to learn and grow. And now you get to hear the truth for yourself. You have great value in you. You are worthy, you are enough, and you most certainly do matter. And people want to hear your message. You know, that's why I like to create ways for your voice to be heard. Like my podcast, Wisdom on the Front Porch. It gives you a place for your voice to be heard, and not only the podcast, but also the magazine, where you can write an article, advertise your business, and share even more insights. Now, my guidance to get your book written so your message is released to others is another way I do that. And my anthologies, where you can write a chapter or show your art or your poems or photography or jokes, just because your voice matters. Then I give you a place to tell the story through my podcast, Reading Between the Words, where you can go more in depth with your message and what you want the reader to get out of your book. Then there are the summits, the speaking engagements. You see, you do matter. Your voice does need to be heard. And if you're able to stand up and give the person next to you a high five, let me try that again, because sometimes I get so excited about this, I stumble over my words. If you are able to stand up and give the person next to you a high five, and if you're able to give yourself a high five because you're all by yourself, that's okay. But while you're doing that, I want you to say, you have value. You have value. Then give the person on the other side of yourself or yourself a high five and say, you are worthy. You are worthy. Repeat it again and say, you are enough. You are enough. And do it one more time and say, you matter. You matter. Now, go fill yourself up with value by adding value into other people's lives, because you have great value in you. You are worthy. You are enough. And you most certainly do matter. Now, if you want to get more in touch with me, we can share value with each other. Find me at shinewithls.com and keep adding value.
Thank you for joining us today on Wisdom on the Front Porch with your host, Ellis Kirkpatrick. You can find us on our website, wisdomonthefrontporch.com, see previous episodes of the podcast, and view issues of the magazine. Did you know you can submit questions, leave reviews, or suggest topics? You can also tell us where your favorite front porch location is and what it means to you. We hope you gain value and insight from today's or previous talks. We appreciate your support for us so we can continue to provide value and expertise to you and others. Subscribe to Wisdom on the Front Porch magazine and join in next week when we bring you another great insight into the world of entrepreneur culture and lifestyle. Make today a great day. Always believe that something wonderful is going to happen.